Good day, everyone. Today, I'd like to talk about a fundamental yet often overlooked aspect of teaching: the power of classroom announcement and instruction. These are not just the routine parts of a lesson, they are essential tools that shape how students engage, understand, and succeed in their learning environment. So, why announcement and instructions matter? Think of announcements and instruction as the bridge between a teacher's expectation and a student's action. When they are delivered clearly, students know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. This leads to a smoother transitions between task execution and more organized classroom. But when they are rushed or unclear, confusion sets in. Time is wasted and tasks are misunderstood. Frustration builds for both students and teachers. So, how does teachers deliver effective classroom announcements and instructions? There are some tips in delivering effective classroom announcement and instructions. Clear and concise techniques. The first and most important principle is clarity. Students respond best to simple, direct, and concise language. Long-winded explanations can dilute the message. Instead, teachers should focus on the essential, such as deadlines, activities, and reminders. For example, instead of saying, "You may now prepare for our group activity and arrange yourselves accordingly," a clearer version would be, "Group yourselves into five, bring your notebook, and sit at the back." This version is short but specific and easy to follow. So, the students can clearly understand this and it avoids confusion and the students know what to do based on the instruction of a teacher. Using visuals for better understanding. Not all students process verbal instructions the same way. That's where visual aids comes in. Writing instructions on the board, showing slides, using posters, or posting it in digital platforms like group chats or learning systems can reinforce what's being said. Visuals help highlight key details like dates, steps, or reminders, and give students something to refer if they forgot it. It's simple strategy that boosts retention and reduces confusion. Giving step-by-step instruction. Large tasks can overwhelm students if presented all at once. That's why breaking them into smaller, manageable steps is crucial. Using transition words like first, next, then, and finally helps students follow the sequence and stay focused. For instance, instead of saying finish your project, a teacher might say, "First write your outline, next gather your materials, then start building. Finally, submit your work by Friday." This structure guides students through the process and minimizes errors. Ensuring students understand before moving on. Even the clearest instructions can be misunderstood. That's why teachers should pause and check for the comprehension. Asking, "Is everything clear?" or having students repeat the instruction in their own words ensures that everyone is on the same page. This step is especially important in diverse classrooms where students may have different learning styles or languages. It is simple way to prevent miscommunication, make sure that no one is left behind. Repeating and checking for comprehension. Repetition isn't just for memorization, it's for reinforcement. Key instructions should be repeated at least once, especially if they are critical to the day's activity. Summarizing instructions at the end and observing students as they work helps the teachers confirm that the directions are being followed. This practice builds classroom structure of support and accountability, where students feel guided and confident in their tasks. To wrap up, classroom announcement and instruction are more than just words. They are strategic tools that shape learning experiences. When teachers communicate clearly, use visuals, break tasks into steps, check for understanding, and reinforce key points, they create the classroom that is organized, engaging, and successful. In the end, effective communication isn't just delivering information. It is about empowering students to act on it. And when that happens, both teaching and learning become smoother, more meaningful, and far more impactful. To help us understand even more, here's a video related to this topic.
How to give instructions and improve working memory in class. Working memory is our brain's post-it note, as it helps us remember and process information simultaneously. It helps us keep track of information, perform instructions, and plays a huge role in our ability to focus and concentrate on tasks. Kids with certain learning disabilities like ADHD have a much smaller working memory, making it more difficult for them to remember and process information. They may have difficulty with starting, prioritizing, and or completing tasks, following directions, time management, self-regulation and self-control, focusing on a task and following it through to completion, multitasking, completing math problems mentally, reading and reading retention. These children struggle with things that are automatic for other children and appear to be lazy, unfocused, defiant, or disobedient. We as teachers should do activities in class for our students to train their working memories and recall of information. In today's video, I will share 10 tips on how giving instructions properly will improve your students' working memory. Let me tell you about the website English for Tutors. If you need lesson plans, both digital and printable, englishfortutors.com is a website with the lessons and resources for you. English for Tutors has user-friendly ESL lesson plans based on inspirational topics, which are supported by up-to-date videos and on-topic reading content accompanied by real-world vocabulary and grammar exercises with explanations. These include some well-known types of exercises such as match the words with their meanings or fill in the gaps. Each lesson comprises of a PowerPoint presentation intended for online classes and 2 PDF files designed for classroom teaching, one for the student and one for the teacher. If you need lesson plans with resources already included, check out englishfortutors.com. You can join for free to gain access to some of the lesson plans or subscribe to gain access to all plans by clicking the link in the description below. Be clear and concise. Make sure you have your students' full attention before giving directions. Wait for the whole class to focus on you. Put their pencils down and feet together. They have to remove distractions and look at your eyes while you're speaking. Remember to keep directions short and sweet, or chunk them into steps to make it more manageable. Simplify your instructions and go through processes step by step. We as teachers often forget that our students are still young and learning. So while an activity or instructions might seem simple for us, we have to scaffold and simplify them for our learners. So if possible, limit your instructions to just a few and write them on the board in a logical order. By keeping your requests as specific as possible and limiting the number of things you ask them to do at one time, you are setting them up for success. Ask students to repeat directions. After providing instructions, ask a student to repeat it back to you. That will ensure that they've heard you correctly. It also provides other students a second opportunity to listen to it again. If a student can't repeat it back, ask someone else to help them. If they are also unsure, repeat your instructions again, because it means that many other students probably also didn't understand. Remember to constantly check for understanding throughout a lesson. This is good to improve retention and allows you to fill in any gaps your students might have. Activate background knowledge. Background knowledge is super important for learning. The more connections patterns we activate before we begin teaching new content or skills, the better your students will be able to understand and recall information from their working memories. Use concept mapping. That's when you make a graphic representation of text, ideas, and their relationship, like word clouds or mind mapping. Cool charts. What do students know? What do they want to know? And what have they learned? And think pair share activities. When we introduce topics, we can ask questions to prepare them for the lesson ahead. All these strategies awaken previous knowledge, establishes mental connections, and enhances the process of encoding new information. Having strong background knowledge can actually improve working memory. Teach visualization. Teaching your students to create a mental picture of the things you ask them to do is a great way of improving working memory. You may need to take it a step further at first and have your student draw or explain their mental picture to you. But the more you practice it with them, the better they will be able to visualize the things you ask them to do. Like